So Forest are doing some business in the transfer window as a striker is very close to signing. Welcome to your Forest transfer news. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. Coming up, we'll talk to you about a striker that's looking very close to signing. There's also going to be another striker apparently coming in. We'll give you the details on that. And on top of that, we have a departure that I'm quite excited about. So all details coming up. Make sure, as always, you've hit the like button. Make sure you've subscribed as well if you are new. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook. You can scan that QR code. All your Forest snappy news and info there if you want it. I'll leave the link in the comments as well. Let's jump into it. So Forest are going for Luca. So they're going for the giant, Andre the Luca giant, 6'7", from Napoli, even though technically Napoli don't own him, it's Udinese, but Napoli have an obligation to buy him as well. I don't know if there's any Douglas Luiz style 45-minute clauses in there, but let's just assume there isn't and Napoli are going to buy him. They already want to offload him. He's been with them since the start of 2025. Now, where should we start? Okay, let me give you some stats for him. So at Napoli, he's played 16 games and scored 1 goal. Udinese, 33 games, 12 goals. And where he really kind of shone was at Pisa, where he came on. I think he scored, like, I can't remember, 5 goals in his first 6 games or something like that. He's been on loan a lot of places, though. So from 22-23, he was on loan to Ajax. He then went on loan to Udinese. Then he got made permanent. So a bit of a journeyman so far. And is he just height? Is he a Peter Crouch, I guess, would be the first question. The answer is kind of yes. He's very good in the air, obviously, with his crazy height. He's one of the tallest players in world football. But he has more about his game than that. So he's okay with his feet. He's not very fast, but because of the length of his stride, that kind of semi-compensates for, I'd say. Because his stride will be longer, even if you're up against a shorter player who's quicker than you, it kind of balances out. But he's not a world beater when it comes to pace. And he's quite good, I think, at finishing. Now, is he the kind of striker I would go for? Not really. He's not my style of striker. But what I'm not going to do with any of these players that come in is kind of prejudge them before they've kicked a ball for us. At Napoli, he doesn't get in ahead of Rasmus Højlund. So take from that what you will. But he will suit Sean Dyche. And this is my worry about it, is that we're buying for Sean Dyche or loaning for Sean Dyche, and I'm gonna have to at least personally sit there and just stomach it, get us to the end of the season and press that reset button. So look, the deal's gonna be a loan deal for this one, with an option to buy for Forest. In fact, let me take you through the article that was put in The Athletic, so I can run you through that. So Forest close to a loan agreement with Napoli for Luca. Forest personal terms of the striker are close to being agreed ahead of a loan, with an option to buy of around 40 million euros. They paid Udinese for him. Luca, who's 25, has been on loan at the Italian club from the 10th place club since the summer and has scored once in 16 top flight games this term. Forest has been in the market for a striker. We know that. Chris Wood, we know that. We know about Strand Larsen. But what's interesting is they say, The Athletic reported last week that the Iranian international Mehdi Taremi was top of their forward list with Wolves. And also Strand Larsen. I'm sure they'll talk about that. Taremi is still on the list. Anyway, Forest in a place above the relegation zone. They also let Callum Owendo go to Frankfurt. The proposed deal for Luca is not expected to affect their plans for Taremi, who the club sees as having similar qualities to Chris Wood. Luca joined Napoli on a season-long loan from Udinese last summer as one of 9 incoming players to Antonio Conte's team. The head coach said to Sky in October he had too many signings and therefore had work to do to replicate the same chemistry as they had the season before. Napoli are third in the league after 21 games, but Luca has only started 4 of them. So, basically, he's not being picked there. And what I'm hearing now as well is El Nassiri, the one Forest wanted, is potentially going to be the guy to replace Luca if this loan deal does go through. So he'll replace Luca at Napoli. So there's a bit of a domino effect going around here. I personally think Napoli will be getting the better player, but in terms of the player that most suits Dyche, it is going to be Luca. Am I excited by this one? Not really, but it's a loan deal, so whatever, man. If he flops, he flops. If he turns it into a Chris Wood style thing, then I hear it. What I will say in his defense is that Napoli's system and style doesn't suit his strengths. Dyche's will, okay? So we're not getting the next Haaland or the next R9 or anything like that. We're getting a Dyche striker, okay? And that in itself makes me feel a little sick in the stomach because I don't like Dyche, but I've made no secret about it. But we are where we are, and we do need strikers. We could say the old line, is he better than Taiwo? Yes, he is. Does he change much from what we've got with Igor Jesus? The answer is probably yes, because if we were to play Everton with Luca up front and spam 52 crosses in, he probably is in the right position, and with his height, maybe gets one or two of those, connected with. So that's the news on him. Let me know if you'd take him or not. As I said, don't make me out to be judging any. I'm not judging any player that comes through the door this transfer window. I'm going to see how they perform at Forest first, and then make an assessment of him. If Forest do sign him, we'll do a full profile breakdown and kind of player scout on him, so look out for that one. But let's move on to some really good news. And this is my favourite news so far of the transfer window, as the disaster that is number 35 is gone, or pretty much gone. And this has been confirmed by the likes of Fabrizio Romano. He says Ajax verbally agree on a deal to sign number 35, and he said his name, from Arsenal. It's a here we go. Agreement in place over loan until June. Leaving Forest, number 35 will fly in the next 24 hours for his medical tests at Amsterdam. Ajax will cover his salary, deal in place according to reports in the Telegraph. So, good riddance. I never want to see you in the Premier League again. You are up there with, in the Premier League era for me, a John Joe Shelvey, a Jesse Lingard, that kind of thing. Now, what I will say is Forest have done very well here, because there was no break clause in the loan agreement with Arsenal. So if Forest, and I'm sure Forest would have been working behind the scenes to help move this along, and no doubt his agent and probably Arsenal as well, to move him on. Otherwise, we were stuck with him. So we are going to be saving a couple of things here. One, we get an additional position to put into the squad. Two, that will work out as well for the Europa League. Well, Einar will come back in for Zinchenko anyway. I do believe Einar can even play this Thursday. I will double check it, but I'm sure there's a rule, because Zinchenko was the one who replaced Einar, if I remember correctly, for the Europa League squad due to injury. Therefore, because Einar is fit, he can replace Zinchenko back in. But I'll get that confirmed for you. So we're saving on wages. We're saving on more own goals like we saw against Burnley. He's just utter crap, and I'm so glad to see the back of him. So that's the main headlines. There are more movements elsewhere, rumours and everything else, so I'll keep you up to date as best I can. So get your thoughts in. Are you happy or sad 35 is going? And how are you feeling about Luca? Is he the right person for us to get up front? And can he bag goals in, even though this little spell he's had at Napoli, he's got 1 goal in 16. So make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe. If you didn't see Grumpy Old Reds yesterday, it was actually quite calm for once. I'll leave it on the end screen for you. Follow us over on Facebook. We'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.